Hi guys, Dennis here from Denny Bob's RC Construction and Ag Conversions. I just, I got my truck pretty much finished up. It started out as a Tamiya King hauler truck, and basically turned the cab into a day cab and added an aluminum box to it with a mechanical lift. Some of the things, I covered the mechanical lift in the last video of it, and showed how I kind of did that. I did do some revisions to it since. One of the main revisions I did to it was put a spring-loaded kind of a safety on it. When you're going down with it, I don't have stops or limit switches on the lift. So when it gets all the way up, it'll just keep going all the way down until you stop. So I've got about a quarter to 3/8 of a cushion so that when you're going down and the box drops, you stop. But if you happen to hit it just a little bit, it's got a little bit of give to it. And the give is basically right here, which is nice. Okay, say the battery's dead, you got to change the battery out. Well, can't lift the box. Well, to get the cab off, you know? Yes, you can. Now, under the cab, I got a 3000 milliamp battery mounted here. I used two MG 995 or 996R servos, one for steering, one for shifting, because I do have the stock 3-speed transmission in it, but I added a 4-to-1 gearbox on the back, and I am running the lift with a 1060 hobby wing and the drive with a 1060. So I got two 1060 hobby wing ESCs in here driving it, and I did an Apex auxiliary light switch to turn the lights on and off. I don't have a sound kit in it yet. I don't know if I will put one in it yet or not. I might, but we'll see how it goes. And I always have trouble getting these cabs back perfect, but there we go. There we go. And sometimes I put a couple screws on here. You know, if I'm going to go out and use it, beat on it, I'll probably put a couple screws on it to hold the cab rigid so it doesn't accidentally pop up or pop off, but I doubt it would. And I just mounted the lights, the main power on-off switch right there. And easy to get to that way. It's just a simple on-off switch for the lights. They're all on or they're all off. I didn't put any light kit in it or anything like that. On the back of the truck, where the original bumper would bolt into that plastic mount, if all you guys have done the Tamiya kits, I just drilled a 5mm hole into into each side where the back side where the nuts would go, and put 5mm red LED lights in here. I just wanted a simple dump truck. I didn't need a big light bar on the back of a truck and a damn bumper that hangs down here. I didn't want any of that. I want it functional to where I can use it. I put a pin hitch in it, and then I have a ball hitch for my Bulldog RC 4-wheel drive trailer that I will be pulling with it. And yeah, pretty simple. I want to put some kind of a mechanical latching mechanism on this, but actually it goes shut pretty good and stays shut. And when you get a load on it to dump, it'll open up. It should be fine. I did go and put a wood trim on the top of the box. They didn't come with that from the factory, but I do have the 3-speed transmission hooked up. That's first, and I'm not going to drive it on the bench top in second and third, but okay, here's first. second, third. I think this thing will really move, but it should have plenty of power, plenty of pulling power in first gear. So, yeah, I had to take the shifting servo and I set the end points of it so that I actually flipped the truck on its side, watched how the servo shifted to make sure my end points so that the servo's not sitting there still trying to push further than it needs to. Because once you get it centered, and you only need so much throw each way to shift it. I didn't want it sitting there, you know, when I have it in first gear, it's basically just holding it. It's not forcing the shifting rails in any one direction, because with the servo sitting there trying to keep pushing, they'll get hot, and I don't need that. I like my stuff to last a little bit longer than burning them up right away. Otherwise, you know, it's just pretty much a plain simple. One thing I did notice in the video that I did, where I was hooking directly to the battery for the lift, it seems to have more power to the motors through an ESC. And it might be because it has a peak amperage push on the ESC for your initial startup. So it actually seems to work a little bit better that way. So, but otherwise, yep. In the other video, I did have 16 pounds in the truck bed. So I don't think I'll ever have more than that. I doubt I'll ever have that much weight. That 16 pounds is a lot of dirt. Maybe some wet sand or something like that might push it to the limit, but then do it like the real trucks. Only put a half load in it. Very seldom do you see a dump truck out there just heaping full. It's unrealistic. They can't scale that much. So I know we do push them a little bit. You know, I guess if you go into a show where they had crumb rubber, yeah, you could heap it totally full. Crumb rubber weighs nothing. Sawdust weighs nothing. You know, and some of that stuff is pretty easy to work with. But when you're actually doing, one thing you cannot do is scale dirt. Dirt is dirt, and it's going to weigh as much as it is, and ain't much you can do about it unless you go use the crumb rubber or shredded rubber or stuff like that. But I don't get to any of them shows. I don't get to play with any of that stuff. I barely get to play with this stuff at my own. So, but I am extremely happy with the way the truck turned out. Extremely happy. It turned out really well, and this is actually my first full-on Tamiya build. So it's the first one. I'm pretty happy with it. The body work on the cab to make it a day cab and that did not turn out the most perfect, but hey, it's my first one. I'll get more particular on the next one maybe, but I'm going to go out in the dirt, scuff and scrape it anyway, so no big deal to me to have it, you know, what you want to call showroom quality paint jobs. But the paint did turn out really well. It just, some of the body work didn't turn out the greatest, but partially because I'm kind of impatient person, so I don't have the patience for body work. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And guys have any questions on what I did or whatnot, and want another video done of something on it, I can gladly do that. I will I'll go to the bottom. I've got a drive shaft ordered for it. I just took the stock drive shaft and shortened it. But that is that 4-to-1 gearbox that goes to the bottom, bolts right directly to the back of the original transmission. They're like $120. and I got drive shafts ordered. I think they're Bulldog drive shafts or Bad Boy drive shafts or something. I ordered them from True Scale RC. So True Scale RC's Truck Stop, I think is who it is that I ordered drive shafts from. So I'll get a regular drive shaft back here and then put a new one in there. But otherwise, I did. That's an aluminum front axle. It's not all aluminum front axle. It's not a stock Tamiya front axle. And then I did put the RCP walking beams in it. So, well, that's my truck. I'm happy with it. You have to let me know what you think, guys. Catch you guys later.